Hi everyone, in this video we will be continuing with our IPYNB file that is in Jupyter Notebook for our analysis and better understanding purpose. So let me open the Jupyter Notebook and show you. So here we are going to deal with PPC analysis add group IPYNB. This is the file which we are going to deal with. Let me open it and show you. So here the first step and the initial steps remains the same as we have discussed in Facebook ads. Let me execute and show you, and from that we will be taking the insights. Let me execute the first step. As you can see, the step is getting executed here. Now let me execute this step to increase the screen width. As you can see, the screen width is expanded. Now let me import the file add group and headline.csv. So the file is getting imported. Now let me check the first 5 rows of the file. As you can see, these are the first 5 rows and these are the columns. Now let me check how many rows and columns are there in the file. As you can see, there are 35 rows and 12 columns. Now let's check the data types and the missing value tree with missing values. So for that, I will be clicking data.info as we have done in Facebook ads. So these are the data types of the columns in the data which we have loaded. So as you can see here, the add group is object, correct, as there is text in add group. Headline 1 is object, yes. Campaign type is object, correct. Search keyword match type is object, correct. Currency is object, correct. Impressions is object. Now what we have studied is when there is a numerical data, it should be either integer or float, but here it is showing as object. So the reason behind it is when there is a number, there shouldn't be any gaps or commas in between the numbers, because if there is a comma or a gap, Python thinks that this is an object. So because of this comma in impressions, we are getting this as object. Now clicks are integer, correct. CTR is object. So here also, since we have percentage symbol, Python thinks that this is a object. That's why it is showing as object. Now when it comes to CTR, yes. Now average CPC is float, correct. Conversions is integer, correct. Conversion rate is object. As you can see here again, there is percentage symbol, so this is showing as object. Again, cost is also showing as object because of comma. Because of comma in between the numbers, this is also being shown as object. Now, from the above results, we can see some dispensary in data. Now, let me remove the commas from impression and convert it to a numerical data, because of number it shouldn't show object, it should show either integer or float. So let me execute this. Now we should remove commas from cost and convert it to numerical data as well. So let me execute this code and show you how this will work. So when you execute this, so this is executed. Now let us check whether these are converted or not. As you can see, impressions is converted to integer and cost is converted to float. So here our work is done. Now in the next step, we will be removing the percentage sign from CTR and conversion. For that, we will be using the code. Let me execute this and show you, and let me check the data. As you can see in the data here, the percentage sign is removed. So let me again check the data types and see that all are converted to integer or float. That was showing as object. Now, in our next step, we will be dropping some columns that are extra. So here, let me do this, execute this code and show you. As you can see, the currency column is not required for us. So I am going to drop this currency column here and check the data. You can see that the currency column has been dropped and rest all other columns are here. And when you execute to check the rows and columns, you can check that there are only 23 rows and 11 columns now. So now we will go to feature engineering, where we can make new and better feature from using the current available features. So we have to make cost per conversion column. Notice that our data does not have cost per conversion, which is important KPI. Let's create that metric using formula cost per conversion is equal to cost divided by conversion. So how we are going to do this using code, that is data, that is in which data we are going to add this column, and how we are going to add, we are going to take a column cost and column conversion and we are going to divide them. So let me execute this and show, and let me check in the data. You can see that there is a new column that has been added here, that is CPA, which this value we got from dividing cost, that is this column, and conversions, that is this column. We are getting this value. Since there are various rows where conversion is 0, CPA is coming out as infinite because division by 0 is infinite. Let's now convert this to null. As you can see here, it is coming as infinite. So let me convert it to null. And when you check the info part, you can see that it has been done. Now, let me apply filter for search ad and check the info part. You can see that now the data is clean, and here are our features that we will use for analysis. So we will be using ad group, campaign type, search keyword match type, headline 1, CTR, average CPC, conversions, cost, conversion rate, CPA, convert status. These are only the columns that we will be using for our analysis. So let me save this to a new file by clicking here. As you can see, the new file is ready. Now we can do realization, visualization, so that we will see the graphical representation of the data. In our relationship visualization, we will take a combined effect of ad group, ad headline, budget on engagement and conversion. So let me execute this so that we are clear with what we are doing. So here, let's view the generic view of all this which we have executed here. So if we execute the generic view, we will get an idea about what we have done here. So let me execute this. As you can see that the multiple graphs will be coming up here. As you can see here. Now let us analyze each graph one by one. So as you can see, the total amount spent is maximum on franchisee opportunity in Pune. followed by number one franchisee opportunity. Clicks tells the same story, but number one franchisee opportunity lags in total clicks as compared to the amount spent. CTR In CTR, franchisee opportunity Pune lags, but number one franchisee opportunity and minimum investment and minimum profit leads the campaigns. Now, when it comes to average CPC, minimum investment and maximum profit leads the campaign. Now, let us execute the granular view and check each one in detail. Let me execute this. So, when we click Shift Enter, this gets executed. As you can see that multiple graphs will be coming up here. As you can see, these are the graphs which we got here. Let us analyze each graph one by one. Now, first comes ad group franchisee in Pune. So this has the maximum amount spent among the all other headlines. So when it comes to clicks, as the amount spent is more, clicks also replicate the same trend. When it comes to CTR, it lags behind number one franchisee opportunity, as the clicks and CTR for number one franchisee opportunity is almost equal. When it comes to cost per click, number one franchisee opportunity leads the trend, and franchisee opportunity at Mumbai also performs very good. Now, let's analyze another ad headline, that is franchisee in Mumbai. Let us see what is the amount spent on this. As you can see that franchisee opportunity at Mumbai has been assigned 70% of the amount, and the rest ads are assigned only 30% of the amount. And when it comes to clicks, it replicates the same trend. When it comes to CTR, minimum investment and maximum profit leads the ads. But since the amount spent is too less, we can't consider this as correct analysis. So when it comes to cost per click of each ad, you can see that own franchisee in Maharashtra has the maximum share. Now, let us analyze another ad, that is chicken franchisee Pune. When you see the amount spent on number one franchisee opportunity here is little bit more than other ads, and clicks also tells the same trend. But when it comes to CTR, you can see that number one franchisee opportunity exceeds when compared to other. But when it comes to average cost per click, minimum investment and maximum profit has given maximum share. So this is how we analyze the effect of the combined keywords here. Now let us analyze effect of ad group headline keyword match type on KPIs. Let me first execute this so that we'll get a fair view of what we are going to analysis. That is to analyze here. As you can see, the total amount spent on phrase keyword is much more compared to exact and broad. The clicks replicate the same trend. The CTR also has the same trend as compared to the total amount spent. The average CPC, total conversions and CVR are directly proportional to the amount spent. Now let us do the granular analysis to get perfect view of this. Now as you can see, there are multiple graphs coming up here. Let us do our analysis with this one first. As you can see, ad group franchisee in Pune and the phrase keyword has the maximum amount spent. Now when it comes to clicks, exact keyword has overtaken the phrase keyword. But though the amount spent was less here, but the clicks have given good response. Now when it comes to CTR, all the three keywords are performed almost equally. But when it comes to CPC, again the phrase keyword has exceeded well. When it comes to conversions, you can see that the trend is reversed as the exact keyword has given better results than phrase keyword, though the amount spent was more on phrase keyword. Now, when it comes to average conversion rate, you can see that phrase has more average conversion rate here. So, let us analyze another ad group, that is franchisee in Mumbai. As you can see, again the phrase keyword has the maximum amount spent here compared to other keywords, as these are negligible. Now when it comes to clicks, it tells the same story. Even in average CTR, Broad has performed little well as compared to the exact. Now when it comes to average CTR, phrase exceeds among the three, and in average CPC also tells the same story. Conversion is directly proportional to the amount spent, and average rate for conversion rate is very less for phrase. So let us now analyze another ad group, that is chicken franchisee Pune. When you see that the amount spent is very less on all the three ads, compared to that, phrase is the keyword where little amount is spent. Now let us check the clicks. Clicks are pretty much fair as the amount spent. When it comes to average CTR, it is very good as compared to amount spent. And average CPC also tells the same story. When it comes to conversion, it is almost directly proportional to the amount spent. As the amount spent is very less, the conversions are also showing the same trend. When it comes to average conversion rate, here also it is performing exceedingly well as compared to the amount spent. So this comes to end of this video. In our next session, we will be discussing on date and time slot. So see you guys there. Thank you.